You are listening to the Eternal Tribe Podcast. On this show we talk with healers, metaphysical teachers, artists, travelers, community organizers, and self-explorers. E.T. Holy. Welcome to Eternal Tribe.
Whoa. Welcome to Eternal Tribe, everybody. I am so excited for this to happen, for you to be here, for us to be here, for this thing to happen. I'm very excited. This is, of course, the Eternal Tribe Podcast, or Eternal Tribe Live, as we are enjoying calling it. I am Selo Man, one of your co-hosts, along with Nicholas Bryce, Niko. What is up? So, Nick is trying to talk. I'm trying to talk right now. But all I'm seeing is his face. Something's going on. I gotta figure this out. But today we are going to talk about light centers across the globe. Light centers. What is a light center? Well, it's, Nick will explain it a little bit further when he gets to be able to talk. But from what I know, it's like a spiritual center. It brings light, And light is so significant in this world because everything is made of light. Our cells are made of light. Our DNA is made of light. When you really look at it, everything is made of light. You can say the same thing for energy. Everything is made of energy, yeah. But the way we like to say it, the way this Eternal Tribe co-op likes to say it is light. So I'm trying to get Nick to come on here. I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but if anybody's in the live chat, we do have a chat. It is, on Spreaker, Eternal Tribe. Just go to the Eternal Tribe show. It'll be, Spreaker.com/show/eternal-tribe-live. Or -show, one of those. So go to that. There's a live chat. We do have somebody in the chat. And Spatial Birth says, give me that light. Spatial Birth, can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Just to make sure that that people are hearing me. So, Spatial Birth says it sounds good. It seems like everybody can hear me. Once I figure out how to get Nick in here, or Niko, we'll get him on here to talk about that stuff. So, since we're here right now, since everybody's here together, let's try to go to the Spreaker chat room. Spreaker.com/show/eternal-tribe-podcast. And there you'll find a chat. So, we got Spatial Birth in the house, listening in, tuning in, and let's see. Can we get Niko in here? It's gotta be a group effort. Alright, Nick, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Nick? Are you there? Let's see. Skype preferences. Ooh. Okay. Nick, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Nick? Are you there? I see your face, but I can't hear you. I don't hear your audio. Anyway, we're going to take a little short break. We're going to listen to this song by somebody who's a great friend of ours, and he's actually in the Eternal Tribe Foundation, you might want to call it, or just the whole Eternal Tribe family. And if you're on our Spreaker, you can see on our banner that he's in the picture. He has the long blonde hair over there on the left. And this is his song. He recorded it just for this live broadcast specifically. So Thank you, Tristan, for sending in the song. We'll be right back. All right. Thank you, everybody, for staying tuned with us, sticking through it. We're back here. So we actually got back with Nick. Something happened. Technology got frozen, but that doesn't matter. So let us introduce once again Niko. Thank you for joining us, Niko.
Yeah, I apologize. That was really strange. But hey, I can hear you perfectly clear now, Selo. Just put these headphones in as soon as I heard we're back. So.
All right. So today we're talking about light centers, and this is something that you mentioned in the video. Did you want to describe what a light center is?
Sure. Yeah, light centers are areas around the planet that house, higher vibrational transformative energy that are strongholds for, the new Earth emerging. And light centers actually is an adopted term from Scott Love's Emergence Earth. But basically, I don't know if he termed it himself or if it was an actual term beyond that. But it just made a lot of sense that areas like that are, focalized. His idea through his website was to, link a bunch of light centers together that could be, just like meditation centers or like a yoga studio or, etc. like that. But I don't know, to your regards, I guess light centers been really focused on creating, centers for the new earth to materialize as you have. And, I'm currently, the plan is to strengthen light centers, build them, and, create them where, we feel we can really manifest like it, our new earth, and it's kind of being led by, the universe to pick locations. And, I guess, before I go any further, I think I'll stop there for now, but I think that sums up the basic definition there.
Yeah, so I thought it was a good idea to talk about, all the light centers that are coming up, all across not only this country but the world. We're gonna specifically be talking about ones that are, in this country, and we're also going to be using experiences that the Eternal Tribe family had in 2012 all together. And we're going to talk about, going to Texas and finding centers in Texas, finding centers in Asheville, finding centers in California. So we're going to be touching on those centers that we've, ran across along the way. And also, at the beginning, at the ending, I would like to read a little bit about this angel that I've been learning about called Metatron. So I'd like to just briefly touch on Metatron at the end. But yeah, let's get right into it. When we traveled across the country and created Eternal Tribe, our specific intention was to create light centers all across, the country. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, essentially. And, well, I know for sure that, on our trip, the thing of the utmost importance was to create like a home base, which would essentially become Light Center, which oddly enough, we did not succeed to come together and choose one location, in one swoop. And, seems like we broke and spread to the winds. And as far as I understand, have been working on these projects independently, somewhat conjoined, ever since then. So it's interesting, this topic, for sure. And, we also talked about, I believe we talked about it. Forgive me, it has been a long time, but, light centers and you'd mentioned earlier, creating light cities even coming out from, more designated locations where like a fuller form of, new earth can take hold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was actually, I was talking with Tristan, one of the members, and Tristan was like, have you ever considered a light city? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, light center sounds brilliant, but light city is like, yeah, we should think big. We should think really big, and, we can build light cities for sure. That's true. I think, though, perhaps it starts with a light center, and then the more you take root and build that foundation, it can spread, like a tree. If you can allow those roots to grow deep in the ground, feed them the nutrients and the vitamins that they need to grow big and strong, that tree will get huge and, deliver a lot of fruit, if you get my drift.
Yeah. It's light cities. I was just having a conversation earlier with some dear friends of mine about uh, restructuring cities, and more specifically the model proposed by the Venus Project. And we had a long discussion about it. How they were offering an alternative form of society through a resource-based economy, and also created models, standing structures and modes of transportation and distribution of goods to people just sort of out of need. And it's that's, I don't know if you know much about the Venus Project or not, but there's not really, as far as I know, on a large scale thought, many things that are quite harmonious sounding, like the Venus Project entirely. So I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's still, like, we gotta take some time, the due time it takes to come to these thoughts that are gonna hold, the ones that'll hold the most true and manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Just living each day to day, just trying to learn a little bit more and take things a little bit further to our furthest extent of ourselves, to learn more about things, light centers, especially light cities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really want to go off on a tangent or anything, but
Nick never does that.
but something over the past couple of years, a large scale thought of a way that an alternative society can be manifested. I've been working on, in Detroit, and it's not a very likely place to think of somewhere for a light city to show up, but in this really hostile kind of feeling world, I feel like, I don't know, I'll get into it, I'll explain it. I'm not going to go too deep into this right now, but there's just a lot of things that seem are very viable right here in our city right now. And I'm sure many other places on the planet, but we're especially us people that consider ourselves here with a specific mission to do this, spend a lot of time and thought on how to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love all these. I love thinking about this stuff, because just thinking about it creates it, to be a much better possibility of happening wherever you are. So, let's start. You want to start with kind of like our trip into different light centers? Asheville was the first place we met. Are there any areas or centers or anything like that you want to talk about from Asheville? Oh. Okay, so somehow he dropped out there. It's kind of funny. It says, how would you rate the overall experience, the overall quality of this call on Skype? And I'd say it had several problems. Definitely really affected the call. But so this Eternal Tribe thing that we have, this Eternal Tribe Live, we did a podcast on how Eternal Tribe got started. We talked about this in greater detail, but a lot of us came together and created this solid group of people who were motivated to do things, inspired to do things. And so we banded together. 9 of us drove in a car. None of us really had any money, but we were just, putting our faith in the universe to give us anything we would need to provide for us. And it did. It totally did, in very magical ways. And so, like I said, our original intention was to create light centers. And so one of the light centers that we went to in Asheville was this coffee shop. And they had kava. But they also had another very special drink that was euphoric. But our conversations in there was light language. That's where we all devised our plan to go to Florida. From Florida to here, from there to there, until we reach California. So our intention was to go from Asheville to California, up to Mount Shasta, California. For some reason, that was our goal. Somewhere along the way, we actually added Hawaii. And I gotta say, I didn't make it to Hawaii, so I put the Eternal Tribe flag right there on the beach in Hawaii. But anywhere you go, you can find a light center. It's very easy. You just raise your vibration. You allow your light to shine. Get rid of fear and doubt. Fear and doubt that you're alone in whatever city you're at. Once you open up to the possibility that a light center exists around you, you can go and look it up on Google. You can walk around. I will say one good light center, and I'm not even joking, a really amazing light center is the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. There's many. It's been going for quite a while. And it's a good mix of spirituality more than religion, but at a very traditionally church setting that one would be comfortable with if they had gone to church. But even if you hadn't gone to church, you would also feel comfortable because the people are so willing to let you find your own path to the truth. That is one of their beacons, or one of their affirmations that they go by. They support each and everyone's individual path to find the truth. Another thing that they're all about is connecting with nature and connecting with Mother Gaia. Hey, I think we're gonna call. Hello there. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. My phone just pooped out again.
That's okay. I had good things to say in the meantime. I wanted to get to some of the light centers that we were able to visit. Are there? Okay, let's not go in any sort of order. Did you have any specific memories of any light centers, like temples or anything like that that were really profound for you?
As far as a place, I guess a couple places, but one that comes to mind was this Dharma Center in downtown Asheville that we kicked off our trip at. It was just this it was a storefront, but it had this Tibetan Buddhist themed kind of environment, temple setting when you'd walk inside, and you could grab a mat, you could sit and meditate as long as you'd want. It was just really good, and just setting that initial intention, just before our trip, having a space to go that was even remotely like that was really special. I don't know if you recall or not. on top of that, that just being, one center of light, the intentional community creation flame in Austin, Texas, we're referring to.
Yeah.
It's really, really great. Their intention was to create all these sustainable homes on these properties out there. And when we got there, one of the very first things that we did was they did these group meditations, and they had a bunch of people there from the greater community, and it was just like a really beautiful little ceremony they did. And then just kind of connect them over the couple days we were there. It was real inspiring and definitely was highly impactful.
Yeah, Creation Flame. I know Project New Media talks about Creation Flame sometimes. I think that might have been the first time I did Tai Chi with somebody. At least to that extent. They are serious about their spirituality, man. If you wanna raise your vibration and feel super sacred, go to Creation Flame in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I would love to hear how they're doing too. Does Shayna talk about them in that regard? Does she know? Is she keeping up to date with them at all?
She might be. That's I think that's her shtick. So Shayna Gladstone's the director maybe of Project New Mundo. She's quite amazing. She goes to all these different centers in South America. She calls them impact centers. So pretty much the same thing, but she's amazing, and you should check her out for sure. Project New Mundo.
Yeah. I don't know. How about yourself? Any what were some of your most notable Light Center experiences on the trip?
Right. Well, in the spirit of the holidays, of the, whatever you believe in, Christmas or Hanukkah, all those, the holiday season. I want to talk about the one that we went to and woke up Christmas Eve with Jesus statue welcoming us. Just a giant statue on top of Mount Shasta.
Oh, I know. Right in line with that place too that we were staying. You look down the long, gigantic aisleway, and there's just, Jesus, at the front of their porch across the street, kind of in the heart of this. I think it was a cemetery or something. But,
it was a cemetery, yeah. And so let's talk about this little Jesus thing that happened real quick. I'll set up the scene and we can sort of go back and forth about our experiences with it. But so for everybody who's listening, we made it to Mount Shasta on December 21st, 2012 at 4 a.m. in the middle of a blizzard, a giant blizzard. They got 4 feet, and we're just traveling along in the van. The tires are pretty bald. Everybody else is putting chains on their tires. We actually saw a car hanging off of a cliff, only held by a tree, and we're just going for it. We ended up getting stuck, but we got out of it, and it was a magical experience. So we met this guy who was selling drums on the street. He hooked us up. So Christmas Eve morning, we wake up, and Niko, the co-host here, just brings a giant bag of food. And we were starving. We were eating dried couscous. We were eating anything we could find. And Niko comes along with his big old smile, just super happy to deliver everybody this delicious food that was kept preserved from the storm. So we meet this guy who's selling drums on the street. He hooks us up. Christmas Eve night, we get to sleep in a warm, cozy center that they have all these books. There's this crazy, what's that girl's name who's a witch? There was a witch there.
I know. She was a light, she was a good one. for
She
sure.
was. Yeah, if anybody's read Aragon and knows about Angela, the super interesting, crazy witch in that book, that is exactly like her. Dude, she was so kind of like, it was hard to even understand her at all.
I honestly forgot her name, but it was a very strong connection to her. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, whatever. I wonder how that place is too.
Right.
Alexander, the Golden Eagle in Mount Shasta. If you're out there.
Oh yeah. So okay.
Yes.
I don't. So just talk about this experience with Jesus a little bit more, because that was only the first part. So this guy that we meet, Alexander, he lets us sleep in his shop with that crazy, super light worker witch, and then it's Christmas Eve night that we sleep there. So we wake up, we look out the window, and there's this huge, like, pathway perfectly plowed from, like, the exact width of the building that we're sleeping, perfectly plowed right to Jesus, right to this giant Jesus statue in the middle of this opening with his hands, like, held out, like, you know, just like in his graceful, welcoming, iconic stance. And so, you know, Niko and I both did our little offering to him. I played a little flute, and while he walked to go to meet Jesus. Do you remember when I was playing the flute and you were like walking towards it?
I think so, yeah. It's been a little while, but I do remember, you know, the snow was real deep. And just to put out there, guess we're coming from, or at least speaking for myself, like a more universalist stance. Definitely believe in, you know, the ascended master Jesus. Not solely dogmatically boxed in my beliefs.
Yeah, so, you know, there's another person who actually was on the trip with us, Tristan, who we played a song earlier. He actually wants to come on. Do you mind if we give him a call, Nick?
No, bring him on.
Okay. Let's see.
T2.
I guess his name is Melanie DeVro.
Huh?
Okay, we're calling. Can you hear anything?
I can kind of hear better, actually.
Oh, good.
But,
yeah, so we're going to see if he can get on here, but talk to him a little bit. That thing on Mount Shasta was just so intense. Like, it's pretty bizarre.
Goodness. Powerful activations, you know, profound. That whole trip. Not to get off the subject of light centers, but golly, you know, 2012, you know, December 21st, that whole year was just, you know, crazy, whatever was going on, cosmic energies, you know, the shift of the earth, the shift in ourselves, like, you know, to such like levels that are so beyond words to do justice explaining exactly what was going down. So
yeah, yes. So we have Tristan. I can't hear him, so I'm not sure what's going on with him. But we're gonna get this thing figured out. And in the meantime, we have Niko with us. Do you want to talk about any centers from San Francisco?
You know, yeah, one comes to mind, you know, like these like little impact centers, these light centers, on Haight-Ashbury, just down from Golden Gate Park. It's a little crystal shop, and it had like a little meditation room inside, and just like these really sweet shopkeepers, and it just did so much for the neighborhood. You can definitely feel it. And every time I go back there and have been there, like I've paid homage to this place called the Love of Ganesh.
Oh man, that place is oh, I'm so happy you brought this up. I'm so happy you brought this up, man. So, was there tea inside or outside?
I know you'd walk inside and they'd always be like, "Oh, have some tea.
And
Have some tea."
It wasn't just regular tea. It was delicious.
I know, they were the best. Newt,
Mhm.
was this like a little Indian woman shopkeeper that was just the sweetest woman. You know,
Mhm.
you could tell a lot of people in the community respected her a lot. So,
Mhm. Oh man, yeah. So I remember that in that store, it wasn't that big, but they had a lot of stuff in there. And then they also had a little meditation area.
yeah, exactly. You know, very in this, in the middle of San Francisco, you can walk off the street, walk into this place, walk into this little room, and it's just full of shrines and pictures and candles and incense and pillows and, well lit, and you can just silently just kind of meditate. People walk in and out. You just kind of bow in respect to each other. And, it was amazing, It was so,
Yeah.
so amazing. So great.
So grateful. Another one is actually there's this right across the street from that is this shelter for kids who are younger than what was it, like 25, 24, something that would like they would allow kids to come in and eat. They would have like 2 meals a day, giving kids this food and stuff, and they would do projects and like it was super super cool place.
Right. Man, the Larkin Center.
Yeah, the
That's
Larkin.
oh,
Wow.
that was just, yeah, I guess that's a light center. It was definitely a safe place for homeless travelers, in particular, people like young kids. I don't know, they take you all the way up to 24, and just can have a nice meal. I think at least like once or so a day, and kind of connect you with resources in the city. I believe that's actually where we got our bus ticket.
Yeah.
We had returned to Michigan there.
Yeah, they helped us get a bus ticket from California back to Michigan for free. Oh,
well timed to
yeah.
say that.
Yeah. I would like to talk about Sedona for a minute. I know there's a lot of areas out in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly Brenda's place.
Yeah, that's an interesting little place. Just like somebody who just owns her home, or who knows if she owns it or not, actually. Maybe she rents it, but just offering her space, very selflessly feeling to travelers and pilgrims around the world,
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's, there in every part of this country, and I would believe the world, there are centers that do exist. Sometimes it's hard to find them, but they're there if you look for them.
Wow, I know. It's crazy. On our trip alone, there is just it really laid strong foundations of the direction we went, and it's been amazing. Such a strong sense of unity, to like degrees of profound nature, where I felt like, the connection between us, was so instinct that we could literally all just, without speaking, just kind of like, if we were about to go somewhere, like many of us, maybe not, if not all of us, would like stand up or something at the same time, and Like, you might be in the middle of a city somewhere we don't know that's huge, and we would just always run into each other somehow. And just, just very profound, just connections that we shared, just making it even all that more meaningful of a, experience. It's not like, I felt like helped fuel and propel it forward. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, we got about 15 more minutes. I'd like to use about 10 more minutes for our, light centers that we are creating. Not only did we visit them, which was a good thing for our trip, that we visited all the centers, but now we are starting them in our own respective cities. So I'd like to get into that, and then about, 4 minutes near the end, just get into a little bit about some angels, such as Archangel Metatron. So, Niko, I know you're creating your center, the UIO.
Right, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the thought of a light city, like we're starting to get into. In our neighborhood here in Detroit, I feel like it was led by, by spirit and profound synchronicity to end up here. And this area in Detroit is largely commercially uninteresting, is how I like to put it. With a lot of property and empty houses. I'd almost say like a third of the initial neighborhood is left. People are still here and have been working with this neighborhood for a few years now, with thoughts that we can create like a strong area, kind of create like a district in the city that could be like this light district, at least to begin with. So, and I took form as trying to just get in and fix up houses. And really, initially for our Eternal Tribe, we wanted to do this, secure a house in this neighborhood, fix it up. I know you and Zen, we all came here initially to do this, and I think it's still taking shape. But anyways, it led me to different places. It led me to the commercial building that was the bike shop, into a community center, all the way to this building right now where we're calling our project UIO. It's a warehouse, storefront building with apartments upstairs, and the idea is to experiment with a co-op structure, which is membership owned. So there's actually no class involved. If you're a owner, there's no like working class or like owning class. I mean, because it's just all the same thing. Which is amazing. It's been going on for about a year and a half, and it's been a community center here, hosting events, concerts, dance parties, meditations, discussion groups, activist films, food kitchen, pantries, clothing giveaways, art exhibit space. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody had told a member of our co-op, which is about like 10 or so members strong and counting, that they think that just by us being here merely at all has decreased the crime in the neighborhood, is what they told our friend.
You said decrease?
Yes, decreased the crime, like reduced it in the neighborhood, and is offering examples for their kids, is what they said, to live alternatively and live a better life, instead of gangs and drugs. And things of that nature. So it's an ongoing project, UIO, Light Center for the Eternal Tribe, and one of many to come. And I'll leave it at that. So you can tell us a bit about the Phoenix Landing in Maryland.
Yeah, definitely. So this place that we have here that we've been, so blessed to manage is this, 175-ish, almost 200-year-old building that was originally gifted to a man by the name of Peter Smouse, who won, or I guess was gifted, the land for his role in the battle where Cornwallis surrendered. It's a huge pivotal moment in the Civil War. The governor was one of the guys who was on the Declaration of Independence, signatures on there. And now this place is being turned into a wellness center where we're doing Reiki. Just tomorrow at 6:30, we actually have a sound healing class. Ashton Robertson, who does the Clouds music, is actually doing that here. On Monday we're doing a meditation. So we're calling it a art, music, and wellness center because we're going to have, some music. We're going to have some art. We're going to have some, holistic well-being, meditation, and yoga. And that's, I believe, a light center that we're creating here in Maryland. So if you're anywhere near Maryland, you should come and check it out. We're right in between Asheville, North Carolina, and Detroit, Michigan. So if you're going to one of those cities from the other city, check us out. And yeah, we're getting in touch with a lot of people in downtown Cumberland, talking about collaborating with them to do some events there. So really kind of spreading the seed for that light city that Tristan had been talking about, creating the light city, going out there and doing it with not just one building, but multiple.
That's excellent. And, the thought that it could be out in Cumberland, it could be out here in Detroit, and, I don't know where the next places are going to be, but we've got some exciting prospects before us already. So, yeah, it feels good. It feels like, the Phoenix Landing, when I came to visit, was picking up a lot of good steam. Recently here too, a lot of good steam picking up with, members joining, UIO and, the formation of the organization getting stronger. It currently is a nonprofit, and, we're looking into, federal nonprofit 501c3 status. And, I'm really excited, what, our project can do for the neighborhood and, creating, there's just so much like resources and abundance in Detroit that could be channeled to, really, really come back real beautifully. Feel, let me know how much time there is too, because I'll just say real quick.
We got about six minutes.
Okay. Yeah, it's just really, interesting, the whole thing with Detroit, and this being a place where, spirit may be leading us, and it has been, from what I've been able to tell, to set up this project. I was explaining to somebody the other day that, it's kind of really delicate thing, a new society tends to draw attention and, forces from the outside may want to come in and try and, mess with it, if it thinks it's a threat to itself. And what I realized is that it's almost like this this project, this idea, expansion and into our neighborhood, us, cooperatively securing land and houses and properties and creating, a true light center, a light city within a city. Perhaps all Detroit will become a light city, but it's like setting up inside a really thorny bush. Like predators are not going to be able to really get in or find it appealing at all. To enter. But
that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. And it's just really incredible here, like the people, this neighborhood, connections that we've made. Even, like, I'll be brutally honest, there's drug dealers, there's prostitutes, there's, this is Detroit, like it's, in the far outskirts of the city. A lot of these guys have good hearts and, want to see something good happen for their community and maybe looking for a new model of society to escape, the world around them. They may only be turning to the things that they do as a feeling of no alternative. So.
Mm-hmm. Well put indeed. It's definitely a great thing what you're doing out there in Detroit, and the whole world is grateful for it.
Likewise, you in Maryland, and the synergy between us and greater Eternal Tribe and the greater movement as a whole to create a new earth.
Yeah, we're doing it, and the Eternal Tribe Live is here to broadcast it to the world. So, perhaps next time we will have Shayna Gladstone on to talk with her. I feel like that should be something that we should do as well.
I absolutely agree, yeah.
Get Shayna on here to talk about some of the centers that she has been to. She's a great person and knows a lot of stuff. She's about our age too, so really, really digging this generational evolution that we are all a part of.
And to be honest, like, Shayna Gladstone, met her in Chicago, connected me with Scott Love, and, in result, him and I connected and, did the 3 Days of Light, the first one. If it wasn't for her connecting me to Scott, I don't know if it would have happened in some other means, but, the Eternal Tribe may not have even happened, because 3 Days of Light is where it, we all, got together and pushed forward. So I'm very, honor that person, individual, a whole lot, probably beyond, what she can understand, but, much love.
Dope. Well, yeah, so I just have one last thing to briefly mention.
What happened to Tea Tree, by the way? Tristan.
What's that? Oh, you talk about Tristan?
Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it this time, but we'll get him on here next time. We'll do some sound testing with him, get him on here for the next episode. But, we're getting there. Everybody just hang on for the ride. The last thing that I did want to talk about briefly was Archangel Metatron. If you see our logo for the Eternal Tribe podcast, you will see a Metatron's cube with the alien hand and the human hand touching. That's a Metatron's cube, also known as a Merkaba. And a Merkaba is something that Archangel Metatron works with quite a bit. He is related with time. So if you have any time worries, if you want to get somewhere on time, you can call on Archangel Metatron. In this book that I'm reading about, he talks about how, everybody has help from the angels. Anybody can have help from the angels. You just have to ask for their help and they'll help you. And so when you see our logo, you see that cube, that sacred geometry, that's Metatron's cube. You can find more about Metatron just by Googling his name. Check out some Doreen Virtue stories about Metatron. She's a great angel worker. And it's about time to say goodbye to everybody. So thank you all for tuning in. We love that you have tuned in and have stuck with us through the end. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for anything you'd like to hear or any guests that you would like for us to have on here, just go ahead and let us know. We love you. Anything you would like to say, Nick?
Just real quick, what kind of drew your attention to Metatron all of a sudden? I might have missed it if you were saying it. My phone was cutting out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So I've been
to feel like you needed to talk and think about it.
Yeah, I've been looking into King Solomon for a while now. Especially recently, he's coming up a whole lot. And there's this book that Ashton brought, and it's called Solomon's Angels. And they talk about how Solomon works a lot with Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron. Also, Solomon's ring was the Metatron's cube, a 6-pointed star that he had on his ring. Just Metatron's name in general has been coming up a lot, and it's kind of ironic that in the logo for Eternal Tribe podcast, we have a Metatron's cube, which wasn't something that we thought about while we were creating it, so.
You're right.
So, final words, Nick.
All right. King Solomon.
King Solomon, that's silly.
All right. No, thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. Really, thank you so much for listening to Solomon and myself. Look forward to coming back 2 weeks from now on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
yeah, what did you say? What next Thursday? What is the date?
Oh, next Thursday. I think it's the 20-something, isn't it?
Whoa. Apparently, no. I think this might be the last one until next month because
24th.
Yeah, the 24th is Christmas Eve, and I don't know if that will happen. Maybe we'll keep it an option.
Special Christmas Eve special.
There may be a Christmas Eve special. Hang in there, everybody. Go ahead and like us on Facebook. Just search Eternal Tribe, and it will show up and like that. Also, you can email us, eternaltribepodcast@gmail.com. Just go ahead and log in there, or you can follow the Spreaker that you're on, so you can do that. And we're going to be on iTunes and Stitcher here soon, so look out for that as well.
Excellent. Divine love and light to all of you, light workers, star seeds, whatever you may consider yourselves, citizens of, Earth and, your respective star systems. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Love you guys. Loving you. Good night.